everyone, and welcome to Dungeons and Tangents. My name is Eric.
I'm Robert.
And today we are doing the second episode of our D&D Monster vs. Monster Halloween-themed tournament. Last time we did 4 creatures from the challenge rating 1/4 pool, and this time we are doing the 1/2 challenge rating pool. I don't know if that's the appropriate
This is the CR 1/2 tournament, and it is again creatures that are Halloween themed.
Right. So let's take a look at the bracket we're doing today. If you're a normal listener to our podcast, this is a little bit different. We are actually posting this to our YouTube channel. You can listen along or you can watch along. Either way, we're going to try to call out all of our dice rolls, all of our hit points as we go along, so that it can be educational for you if you're listening or if you're watching. So the challenge rating 1/2 Halloween-themed creatures that we found for this bracket were the Worg, the Barovian Witch, the Shadow, and the Sahuagin, which, Robert, I'm going to blame you for the Sahuagin.
I was thinking kind of a creature from the Black Lagoon.
And I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
I've never actually dealt with Sahuagins in any form in D&D.
Neither have I. I've read through modules that had them in them, but generally I steer away from water and ships because that combat can be kind of tricky, and I'm lazy as a DM.
And I got burnt by one of the, was it Gold Box or Red Box games back in the PC era, some of the early D&D games. What was it? The Dark Queen of Krynn. There was a huge section of that was, but Krynn doesn't have Sahuagins. It was all merfolk.
Okay.
And it just pissed me off. Like, it was a bad game, and it spent so much time underwater that So I'm burnt out of water-based D&D experiences for the rest of my life, apparently.
I like dungeons. I like forest. I like ambushing parties when they're sleeping and camping and having to set up a watch.
Yeah.
Water, I don't have a whole lot of experience in as far as D&D games.
It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it fits quite as well into the D&D experience for me. But I can understand if you want to.
I think it's a matter of
spice things
preference,
up.
kind of like dinosaurs. So
yeah, dinosaurs. Yeah.
A warg is a cunning and malevolent demonic wolf. Wild wargs roam the wilderness, hunting and devouring weaker creatures. Some are raised by orcs and goblins to serve as mounts, but if mistreated or malnourished, they will quickly turn on their riders. Unlike most wild beasts, wargs are known to speak a language of their own, as well as goblin and occasionally common. All the better to growl hellish taunts at their victims. The mad women and men known as Barovian Witches have forged pacts with Count Strahd and the dark powers of Ravenloft in exchange for magic and longevity. They are unscrupulous creatures, dealing with anyone in return for power and betraying them for the same reason. The magical powers they have garnered give them the ability to alter their form, becoming less conspicuous in daylight and growing long, sharp claws with which they can attack.
So now we're looking at the Worg versus the Barovian Witch for CR 1/2.
Yeah, and I mean, their size being different probably doesn't make any difference, especially not tactically here. But that AC for the Worg, obviously higher than 10 for the Barovian Witch.
So one thing that we've seen in the past is that if we've got a big kind of variance between AC between two of the opponents, it gets evened out usually with hit points.
True.
But AC and hit points both are on the side of the Worg in this matchup.
Yeah, as well as speed. So everything here says the Worg's going to win. But if we get into the special traits, we see that, of course, the Barovian Witch is a spellcaster. And has a pretty decent set of spells, not not a small set, which from a running the game point of view, that takes a little bit of prep work to.
And also, one of the things that you mentioned was the Worg's speed advantage. And right there in the cantrips, the witch has the Ray of Frost, which can help mitigate that speed advantage. It reduces the speed of the whoever's hit by it.
And Ray of Sickness and Tasha's Hideous Laughter are both things that can effectively incapacitate a creature.
And sleep.
And sleep can incapacitate. So the Barovian Witch actually has a lot of slow things down spells. And then the Alter Self and Invisibility are, well, those come into play a little bit tactically.
They can. By far, by orders of magnitude, the Barovian Witch has more options than any other creature we've encountered so far.
Yeah. It's like playing 4 or 5 different creatures at the same time, the amount of options you got. But then when we get to actions, we see the damage the Barovian Witch can do is maybe half that of the Worg.
Half or a third, depending on if they shift into a different form or not. And
Right.
It doesn't include the damage they can use via spells, but
That's
if
true.
it gets to a melee combat situation, it's not going to go well for the witch.
Which is a pretty regular thing when it comes to spellcasters. They don't have a lot of melee attacks or any sort of physical attack. It's mostly through mystical means. All right, well.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. I think it's time to roll for initiative, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll be playing the Worg.
Oh, right, yes.
Let's see here. So +1, so 11 + 1, 12.
Okay, and I do not have modifier 4.
All right, I'm going
I think
first.
you're going first.
I've got a movement of 50, so I'm cruising. I'm just going to go ahead and run right up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And attack with my bite.
Okay.
Which is a +5.
What have I got? I've got 16 hit points right now.
AC 14.
That hits, because my AC is 10.
It's 2d6 + 3.
2d6 + 3.
4, 5, 9, 12 points of damage.
Wow, jeez, do I have anything that's gonna... No, I don't... No, I don't have any... Okay, that's just 12. I'm down to 4 hit points already.
And a DC 13 strength saving throw, or you're prone?
I don't think strength is her... No, she has a -2 modifier. Right. Let's see what happens.
So I get a 15 or higher.
I rolled a 1. That's a 1.
I think you're prone.
I think I'm prone. Okay, I'm a witch who is prone on the ground with a evil dog hunched over me
But the
now.
good news is it's your turn.
Oh shoot, we were gonna look up the rules for some things. So standing up, is that going to...
I feel like it's supposed to provoke, but I don't know.
Right. And does casting provoke? I don't think we found anything that said it definitely does.
I want to say casting while within threat of melee combat will provoke, but I don't know if that's third or not.
Okay, well, obviously I have to stand up because I don't think I could cast. Especially, yes, all of my spells involve somatic, which means hand movements. And if I'm on the ground, I don't think I can use my hands. So I'm gonna stand up. That takes half of my movement. Are you gonna look up whether or not I'm gonna?
We'll see how quickly I can look up.
Okay. And let's see here. I'm going to attempt at this point to cast sleep. Yeah, that's the thing I'm gonna do. Let me get some dice. Get some D6s so that I can roll 5D. Oh, sorry, they're D8s. I don't have enough D8s. Okay, I'm just gonna roll my D8 a lot.
Here, grab this one
too. So, I'm gonna try to do this faster than you can look up rules. 7, 8, 9. Oh, 10, 11, 12, 13. And 14, 15, 16. That is not enough. You have 26 hit points. I rolled 16.
Ouch.
That's not enough to knock you out. So normally,
But
what's up?
the good news is now it's my turn.
Yeah. The good news is I also did that fast enough for you not to find out whether or not you get an attack of opportunity.
You get a pass, don't you?
But normally sleep, you roll that 5d8, and if you can get, if you roll higher than the number of hit points for one or more creatures, then that creature goes into a magical sleep, and I would be able to run away and start casting other spells from further away. Instead, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to die.
Does that mean it's my turn?
It is. I just realized we got the lights left on inadvertently.
Oh.
Yeah. We're gonna fix the lights. The lights are supposed to be moody.
Oh, that looks much better.
It does.
A prone creature's only movement option is to crawl unless it stands up and thereby ends the condition. The creature has disadvantage on attack rolls. An attack roll against the creature has advantage if the attacker is within 5 feet. Otherwise, the attack roll has disadvantage. So if it's a ranged attack, you're a harder target. I have disadvantage. If I'm standing over you, you're an easier target, and I get advantage.
Yeah.
This says nothing about provoking. So.
Okay. Well, we're gonna play it that way for now.
All right. So, but it's my turn.
It is.
You have 4 hit points left.
I have 4 hit points left.
I like how this is going. A 16.
That's gonna hit
The plus 5, 21.
21. Yeah, my AC is 10.
Okay. And that is 2d6 plus 3.
I don't.
6,
That's a lot.
7, 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. I am at -6.
I am so good at D&D.
That's it. I got nothing. I cannot come back from that. All she's got is some wicked spells, of which you saw none. Ray of Frost, Ray of Sickness, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, some other things like Prestidigitation and Mage Hand. All of those I was unable to use. She has no resistances or immunities. That was, I think, not a very good representation of what the Barovian Witch can do.
So we talked about how at this challenge rating, a couple very simple things can be an immediate determining factor. One, the Worg won initiative and has a stupid fast movement speed of 50.
Yeah.
So able to close distance immediately, which immediately takes a bunch of your options away as a caster, right?
Yep.
26 hit points. It's got crazy amount of hit points for this challenge rating. It does multiple die of damage, plus 3, which is huge. A huge jump from what we've seen from CR 1/4.
Yeah.
So we've immediately changed a lot of the feel for what this combat looks like.
Yeah. And it's a lot more complex. At least from my point of view, it's a lot more complex because I had to look up a whole bunch of spells.
Yes.
And at least knew offhand 4 of them, at least vaguely well enough to use in combat. But it makes it a lot more interesting because that CR 1/4, that was just like hit, dead.
Yeah.
I mean, this was too, but
Another thing is the ability to knock you prone.
yeah.
It didn't come into play as much as it would have otherwise, but it can be a determining factor, especially if there's more than one opponent.
Yeah. Especially if there's more than one opponent, you knock one prone, and then you can go run over to a second one without provoking. Yeah. Anyway, so obviously the Worg is going to move on to fight either the Sahuagin or the Shadow. We're going to stop recording right now so we can set up for that fight.
Sahuagin are a predatory race that ventures from the ocean's black depths to hunt creatures in the shallows and shores. Though dwelling in the deepest trenches of the ocean, Sahuagin view the entire aquatic realm as their kingdom, and the creatures in it as blood sport for their hunting parties. Much like their shark allies, they are driven into a frenzy by the smell of fresh blood. Shadows appear as dark, weightless humanoid shapes. They are an undead remnant of the darkest parts of a soul, or perhaps the essence of the absence of a soul. These horrors sustain themselves by draining vitality from living creatures until their victims fade into death. When the shadows of these victims break free, they become new undead shadows, hungry for more life to consume.
So now we're looking at the Shadow versus the Sahuagin.
Yeah, it looks like the two of them have exactly the same armor class at 12, but the Sahuagin has 22 hit points versus the 16 on the Shadow. That, I mean, at face value, makes it look like the Sahuagin is going to take this.
Yeah. I don't think it's enough difference to really offset what we see more in the special traits. The Sahuagin has a very cool ability in that the Blood Frenzy allows it to have advantage on any opponent that doesn't have all of its hit points.
Oh, that's true. So as soon as it does 1 point of damage, it smells blood.
Yep.
And it can start to get hits significantly more frequently. Well, as the Shadow, its special traits aren't really doing it a whole lot of help. I mean, sure, it can move through small spaces, but it's sensitive to light, and that's, I mean, in the...
It's also resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing attacks, so that's going to offset the damage abilities of the Sahuagin.
That's right. Those resistances and immunities are something that seems to come up like all the time.
Especially with undead. A lot of undead.
And, well, looking at actions, the Sahuagin actually has multi-attack. 2 attacks, 2 melee attacks, 1 bite, and 1 claw or spear per turn. That could be a fair amount of damage per turn. The Shadow, however, actually has the strength drain, which reduces the strength score of its opponent by 1d4 if it hits. And there's no save on that. It's just if it hits, you lose strength, which then in turn affects your ability to hit. That's pretty harsh.
It is, and as long as you're factoring it in, which I don't know if we always did,
yeah,
it means that your opponent is less and less able to hurt you at that point. And
right.
The Sahuagin already is very much so at a disadvantage as far as inflicting damage, because all of its damage is going to be halved.
Right, because of the
resistance.
Because of resistances. Yeah. If I were to guess, I would guess the Shadow's going to win this.
I would agree.
All right. Let's see what happens.
Cool.
I'll be playing the Sahuagin.
I'm the Shadow.
And we're going to roll initiative. And then...
10.
10. And... 7.
All right.
My dex is +0.
All right. Place, don't touch that. A speed of 40. So it's what? 8 squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will move up.
Okay.
And I will attack with Strength Drain.
Well, that sounds painful.
+4 to hit. It's AC 16.
That will hit.
Okay. 2d6 plus 2 of necrotic damage. 3, 6, 9, 11 points of necrotic damage.
Ow. A lot? That's half my hit points.
And then a strength... what was it? Oh, there's no save. I just reduced your strength. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Ouch. By 4 points.
By 4 points. Let me write some things down then. My strength is now 9, so I no longer have a +1. I have...
4 points is a -2 to attack and damage.
So
it goes down
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right. So that is a -1 now. Wow. Okay. And I think a lot of my attacks are strength-based, so -1 to practically everything. Oh, thank you. That one back over here. Okay, so now I guess what I got to do is attack now. I can do 2 melee attacks, a bite, a claw, or a spear. I'm going to start with, let's see here. Oh, I can do 1 bite and 1 of either claw or spear. So I have to do, if I'm doing 2, bite's got to be 1.
Okay.
So I'm going to bite first. It's a 10 plus, well, at this point, 10 plus 2, 12.
AC 12, that hits.
Okay, that hits. 1d4 plus 1. Or actually not plus 1 anymore because of the strength drain. No, oh, -1. Really? Oh, geez. Well, I rolled a 4, so 3 points of damage?
1.
1 point. Oh, why?
Because I have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Okay. Well, the good news is, now that you don't have all of your hit points, I get Blood Frenzy.
Woohoo!
I have advantage on melee attacks on any creature that doesn't have all of its hit points.
Yep.
So, I'm going to use the spear now. And I get to roll twice. Good thing, because that was a 2. And the second one's a 19.
That's
plus
definitely going to hit.
2. Normally it would be plus... Oh, normally it would be plus 3, but now it would be plus 1.
Yep.
Okay, shoot. Anyway, it's going to hit. And then I do either 1d6 if it is ranged. Is that right?
Oh, is it the spear?
Yeah, or if I use it with 2 hands, it can be a 1d8. So I'm going to assume that I'm using it with 2 hands.
It's not ranged because we're face to face. So
Yeah,
it makes sense to me.
And I'm not using my claw. I'm just going to use the spear. So 1d8 plus 1, or actually -1, right?
-1 for
-1,
damage.
okay.
Hit and damage, yeah.
So that's 6 points of damage.
Halved.
Halved is 3 points of damage. So you're down to 12. I'm down to 11.
Okay.
All right. Now my turn is done.
And we'll do the strength drain again. It's +4 to hit. AC 15.
That hits.
All right. We'll do 2d6 plus 2. 6.
Ooh.
1, 7, 9 points of damage.
That takes me down to 2? There's nothing I can do to stop this.
And then another 2 points of strength damage, which puts you at -3 to hit, -3 to damage.
Yeah, my strength is now 7. If I get -3? Is that right?
Well, -3
Negative.
from what it was before. So if it was +2, now it's -1, or what, you know.
Oh, okay. I think it's now... If I'm at 7 strength, I think that's just a -2. Right? Because it's
I have no idea.
the distance away from 10, and that's 3, divided by 2,
I always get off
rounded
by
down.
1. Well, but what was your bonus before to hit?
It was... I scratched over it. Hold on. I think it was a +1. Yeah, it was a +1 before.
Notice whenever you, on your damage, when it says to hit and to damage,
Oh, yeah, it's
just
+1.
subtract 3 from those.
Okay.
So if it's +1, now it's -2.
Okay. So, and I think that's appropriate. Wow, that sucks a lot. For
And it's
me.
your turn.
And it's my turn. And hopefully I can do something with the lack of damage that I can do. Okay, so I'm going to do, again, the multi-attack. That's pretty much all I can do. Bite and two-handed spear. The bite. Oh, plus I have advantage.
Yep.
So I roll a 2 on the bite, and I get to roll again. 10 plus 1. Wait, no. Yes. No. 10 plus nothing.
Was it +3 before?
It was +3 before,
Yep,
so
so
plus
it's
nothing. So,
So
10
AC 12, that misses.
that misses. Okay. And then the spear with advantage. 9 plus nothing. And 19.
That will hit.
That'll hit. Okay. And then this -2. 1 point of damage.
Halved.
That still counts as 1.
It's true.
You can never be below 1 if you do damage. Okay, so 11 points of damage to 2 points of damage.
All right.
You
I'm
have
going to
11.
do strength
I have
drain,
2.
which is still a +4 to hit.
20.
Ooh.
Oh, jeez.
It's going to be 46 plus 2. 3, 5, 11, 17, 19 points of damage.
That takes me down to negative 17 hit points.
I'm not going to roll the strength damage. Feels kind of insulting.
And yeah, I have nothing I can do. There's no bounce back for a Sahuagin.
Nope.
That is it. I'm just dead. And
The Shadow's pretty tough.
that's nasty.
It's tough to do damage to. They do very good damage with the secondary attribute damage, and they're able to diminish your ability to retaliate.
Yeah.
The whole comprehensive package is pretty devastating.
The multi-attack on the Sahuagin seems like it would be useful, at least more useful than it turned out to be in this fight.
That Blood Frenzy is very powerful.
Yeah. There's a lot of advantages on my side of the table, but not enough, especially because of the resistances there. It's like cut my damage possibilities in half.
Yeah.
All right, so looking at the bracket, the Shadow's going to move on to fight the Worg, and in this next fight, I'll be playing the Shadow, and you'll be playing the Worg.
Dang it, I like the Shadow.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, we're going to set up for that fight.
Now we're looking at the Worg versus the Shadow.
Yeah, I mean, each of them proved that they were capable of taking out something else in the first round. They both have relatively similar AC, 13 and 12.
Mm-hmm. They both move quickly, but the Worg has a substantial more hit points than the Shadow does.
Yeah.
But the Worg is gonna, I think, have a really hard time doing damage to the Shadow.
Right, which is kind of the thing with the Shadow.
It's just so resistant to almost all damage.
Right. But the traits, we've seen these before, but Worg doesn't have anything that is tactically
relevant here.
Yeah, relevant to this. But and I can't say that the Shadow does either. I don't think it's going to be squeezing itself through small spaces in order to get away from the Worg.
If the sun's out, that'd be super relevant.
That's
sure
true.
We're doing all these in the dark or at night, though.
Yeah.
But just being resistant to just about anything the Worg can do is going to be a huge game changer for this, I think.
Right.
Also, as combat goes on, it's draining the strength from the Worg. So
right.
It's resistant, and the Worg's going to be doing less and less damage every round.
And when we look at actions, the Worg, and like the damage that they do is pretty equivalent.
It's very significant.
But the Worg has the special trait of being able to knock prone. Shadow's immune to being prone. But the Shadow's special ability of Strength Drain, the Worg's not immune to that.
Yeah.
So really the numbers make it look like the Shadow's going to take this.
I think it's a bad matchup for the Worg.
Yep. All right, let's see what happens. We are ready to go. I'm playing the Shadow.
I'm going to play the Worg.
And I'm probably going to beat you.
Probably, yeah.
Based on that last fight. Oh, right. Roll initiative. 9 plus 2, 11.
10 plus 1, 11.
Oh, okay. So then whoever has the highest dex.
13.
14.
You go.
Okay. I'll go first. And like last time, you had 40 speed. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's enough to get right there. And I will really do the only thing that it can do, right? And
I think it's enough.
That it is enough, apparently. So Strength Drain. Let's see if I hit. 8 plus 4. 12.
AC 13.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm going to retaliate with a bite. AC 10.
That does not hit. AC
All right.
12. Okay. One more time with the strength drain. 7 plus 4 is not going to be...
11.
That's not enough, is it?
Nope. AC 15.
That will hit.
All
Yes.
right, let's do a bite for 2d6 plus 3. 5,
Ooh.
7, 10 points. Halved is 5.
Ah, right. Okay. That would be painful otherwise. Okay, so I'm down to 11 hit points, and you still have 26. I'm gonna do the strength drain again. 14,
That's
18.
gonna hit.
Okay, and what is it? It's 2d6 plus 2 necrotic, and then that strength reduction.
Yep.
So 3, 6, 7, 8 points of actual damage. That brings you down to 18. And then it's 1d4, just 1d4 strength score reduction.
Yep.
It's insane. 2.
2. All right. I'll borrow that pin.
Oh, yeah. And that is my turn.
Okay. I'm going to bite again. 7 plus 4 now, so AC 11.
That misses.
What's your AC?
12.
So see, before the strength drain, that would have hit.
Oh, painful.
Shadow is very, very strong.
Yeah.
Your turn?
Okay. Strength drain yet again. 15 plus 4.
That'll
That's
hit.
19.
That'll hit.
Okay. 2d6. 2. 6 plus 2. 8 points of damage. Actual damage. And
I'm not
then...
doing so hot.
No.
I felt really good in the beginning.
And then 2 more points.
All right, so now it's a -2 penalty.
That's harsh.
All right. I'm going to bite. AC 14.
That'll hit.
All right. 2d6 plus 1 now. 1, 2, 3. So what, 1 point damage?
Yeah, because it's halved by my resistance to everything non-magical, pretty
Yep.
much. Resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, thunder, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. That is insane. But vulnerable to radiant. So one cleric in the group and it goes down fast.
Unfortunately, I do not play Divine Worg. So.
No. All right. My turn, right?
Yep.
Strength drain. 4, 8.
It's a miss.
Okay.
I'll bite. 8.
8 misses.
All right.
And I will attack again with the strength drain. That is a 13.
13 hits.
Okay. 2d6, 4. 5. 7 total damage.
Oof. Almost down.
That brings you to, was that 3?
Yep. And then strength damage?
And then the strength damage is, what is that?
4. So I now
Ouch.
-4.
Ouch. What is your strength now?
8. My strength's gone from 16 to 8.
Okay. That's a lot. Well, it's your turn.
Woohoo! So now I've gone from a 2d6. I've gone from a +5 to hit to a +1 to hit. AC 10.
That misses.
All right.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's painful on a lot of different levels. Okay, one more strength drain. I think it's only going to take that one. It's 13.
That hits.
And 4, 9, 11.
Oof.
So
Yep.
you got down to negative, what was that? 9? Is that right?
You said 11? It should be -8.
Oh, negative 8. Anyway, negative enough to be dead.
Yeah.
All right, that was faster than I expected. I thought it wouldn't be so one-sided.
It makes sense. I think the first time we did this, we weren't factoring in the penalties of the reduction in strength.
Oh,
we were
that's
just
true.
tracking it to see if they died via strength drain. The reduction in strength is brutal. I think there were 3 times I would have hit but didn't hit because my strength
Yeah.
reduced.
Yeah.
And then one time I did hit, after the first time. The first time I hit you for a bunch of damage.
Yeah.
And even halved, it was a significant damage. After that, I hit you, and because my damage went from +3 to +1, it
Right.
was brutal. The +3 is super important because even on a roll of ones, it helps pad that number before it gets halved.
Yeah.
When that number goes down, you're having all the damage. It's really hard to do anything that really affects that shadow.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it changes significantly when you're playing against PCs because one shadow against like 4 PCs, only one PC is going to be affected by that strength drain. But one-on-one, I mean, I guess in theory you could run a single-player campaign against the shadow, and this is what would happen. It would be painful.
It still felt very balanced to me because
Yeah.
if you look at the end of that combat, I was hitting more than I was in the beginning. Right, so if those hits had just shifted to the beginning of the combat,
That's
when I saw my
true.
strength,
I would have
it
been
would happen.
gone.
It just matters like how those rolls fall in the sequence of combat. But that shadow being able to drain strength, it's a game changer for,
Yeah.
your opponent. It's very cool.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna update the bracket with our winner.
Champion Shadow.
Apparently. That is all for today. Next time we're going to be. Why isn't it updating?
Next time is going to be special.
Oh, yes.
CR1 has twice as many creatures, so we'll
Okay.
actually have an additional bracket. Instead of it being a 2-bracket tournament, it'll be a 3-bracket tournament.
That's right. This is quite a bit longer here. I'll bring up the bracket. So we have 8 total creatures: direwolf, animated armor, imp, scarecrow, giant spider, Strahd zombie, ghoul, and specter. All of those. I think what stood out to us is there were so many Halloween appropriate creatures in the CR1 bracket.
For the other tournaments, we actually had to stretch a little bit to find one that would get us to 4. For these ones, we actually had to cut creatures out to get it down to 8.
I can't remember what we cut, but I know we cut things that were equally appropriate.
Yes.
Anyway, so that's it for this episode. Next episode, we'll be taking on the challenge rating 1. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.